After making the Expedition 33 video, I was itching for another go at a challenge. The thing is though, the games I wanted to do challenges on haven't seen them out of videos already, so it was kinda hard to find something to do. I was contemplating a 3-dog challenge in Borderlands 2, but Gibbs' save editor and my Steam Deck in general was acting up. However, one of my favorite games of all time has a very interesting challenge that, if you paid attention to the title of the video, sounds utterly insane. Can you beat Dark Souls Remastered as the Deprived? So how will this challenge work? It's pretty simple. I can only use the Deprived class gear, being only a club and a plank shield. I'm allowed to use items like firebombs, but I won't rely on them. No armor, cause he doesn't start out with anything, and I can use rings or else the run is impossible. And for the final challenge, I'm going to do all the bosses in the game as well, so that includes the DLC. With all the rules set, let's get to conking some hollows. Character creation is exactly what you'd imagine. I gave myself the master key because it's my personal favorite gift to bring for my characters. After the cutscene ends, I get to control my raisin boy. I traverse the path and skip the asylum demon because I'm not a complete fool, making my way to the second bonfire. Traversing further, I gain access to my 2 pieces of equipment for the entire run, which are being guarded by a single bowman. After grabbing my tools, I rush down said bowman and give him a good old bonking. Something about the club, you can't really combo with it per se, you just swing it around like a madman. That means my strategy for right now is to mainly use hit and run tactics to stay alive. After speaking with the dying knight, I grab my Estus flask and the key. After bidding farewell, I make my way through the common enemies and come face to face with the asylum demon once again. After getting a nasty drop attack on him, it was as simple as hitting him until the screaming stopped. The damage right now, it's nothing to scoff at, probably to make up for the lack of fluidity in our strings. After battering the demon to a bloody pulp, I get taken away to Firelink Shrine. As soon as I spawn in, I immediately run to the bonfire and level myself up. I put all my points into Vitality because the more damage I can take, the better. Once I'm done with that, I get accustomed to the combat. After messing around with the locals, I make my way into Undead Burg. I get more accustomed to how the club works and also get use out of my shield a bit. After traversing a bit, I make my way to the bonfire. Notice how I didn't rest at it? And because I didn't notice this blunder, after trying and failing to get the jump, I start all the way back at Firelink Shrine. Yep. After spending an unfortunate amount of time dying to the same job over and over again, I finally landed, obtaining this lousy ring. This ring does, however, increase my defense at low health, so it's better than nothing at the current moment. After grabbing it, I make my way to the chest to obtain the black firebombs, and after that's taken care of, I ascend the steps to make my way to the second boss of the game, the Taurus Demon. Now, this boss is usually not that bad, don't get me wrong, it wasn't here either. But my first attempt ended in failure when I accidentally mashed an input and ended up rolling to my doom. At least when I ran back up, I remembered the chest with the gold pyros in it, so that's good I guess. After ascending the steps and starting to fight again, it goes my way this time. The thing with this boss is there's a ladder in the area, and if you paid attention to what we did with the Asylum Demon, you can do the same with the Taurus Demon. And after giving our cheeky hits off, it's a few more whacks and all it took to put him down for good. After walking past his arena, I talked to Solaire, not really for any challenge-related reasons, I just wanted to talk to the homie. I crossed the bridge with the wyvern on it, almost getting burned to an even crispier crisp in the process, and opening the shortcut from the bonfire I kept respawning at. After that, and with the help of my shield, I was able to make it across the bridge with the wyvern on it. I opened the gate and ran like hell to the other side of the gate before the hollow soldiers closed in. After getting the advantage on the soldiers that made it across, I get introduced to a new enemy, the Boulder Knights, in which I kill one and run past all the others so I can open the shortcut from here to Firelink Shrine. I'd rather secure my safety than to, die. After arriving back at Firelink Shrine and opening the chest for no apparent reason, I make my way to the bonfire and level myself up. After doing that, I take the elevator back up and take on the guy guarding the Firekeeper souls. He seems pretty intimidating, but if you run around his left side, wait for him to attack and get your hits in, he's not really that hard. And with him defeated, we get our Firekeeper soul and our first Titanite shard. Instead of immediately leveling up my Estus, I make my way across to where Andre the blacksmith is. I use my humanity to kindle the bonfire over here so you can finally see the boy without raising skin disorder. Oh, and to increase my amount by 10 over here, I guess. Talking to Andre, and I finally increase my club up to +2. With this upgrade, I can make my way down to the Titanite Demon, in which I die very easily. Yep. Deciding that it's probably not wise to fight him right now, I make my way down to Darkroot Basin and just traverse the area, making my way to the alternate path. Making my way down, I see a little bloop bug, and after clubbing him, I net my first Titanite chunk. After a few more steps, I make my way to the knight guarding the bonfire. After realizing that going to the bonfire should be my main priority, I rest, flip the switch leading to Valley of Drakes, and go back to confront the knight once again. Something about this particular knight, if you try to bait him out behind the wall, he proceeds to backpedal because he gets closer to the bonfire. Using this, I am able to get cheap hits in, and while avoiding his range. After a little bit of back and forth, quite literally, I kill him and I tame something completely worthless. But I do get some souls out of it, so that's good. After running through the Darkroot Garden and getting the secret bonfire, I run back and make my attempts against the Titanite Demon. But before I fight, I upgrade my weapon to +4. So, how did this fight go? I died. A lot. The main problem with these Titanite demons is the fact that they have so many hurt boxes when they do their jump attacks, which usually ends up in my death. Not only that, their attacks are ginormous. This causes me to lose a lot of encounters against them. But for this particular encounter, I found out that I could just attack him a bit and then just after a while sit at the bottom of the stairs so none of his range attacks could hurt me. I can use the opportunity to heal, and then after that I can come back up and start beating on his back a bit more. Eventually this strategy was enough for me to take him out, yielding me a reward of a Titanite Demon Shard. Why did I even waste my time with this guy? No matter. With that, and some more shards purchased, I make my way to the Moonlight Butterfly boss fight for a specific reason that will be important way later. The fight was really easy. Unfortunately, my lack of experience with this fight made me susceptible to a lot of attacks that, while not fatal, left me at low health a lot. After a while, because of my lack of speed and stamina, I was finally able to take down the Moonlight Butterfly in one attempt. And ascending the stairs, I can finally grab the Watchtower basement key and the Divine Ember. Using the Homework Bone, and I make my way back to the bonfire with Andre. I gave him the Ember and soon after used the Moonlight Butterfly soul to start leveling up. My main objective right now is to increase my vitality and my strength, and sprinkling some points into endurance here and there. After taking the route from New Londo, I make my way to the Valley of Drakes and straight into Blighttown. My main objective for Blighttown is to get the Quelaag and beat her up to ring the bell. I'm doing this now so I don't have to go so far for the second one. And at this point, there is a glaring problem with my poise. I have no resistance to status effects. Poison, and especially toxin, become a massive problem. Do I try to reverse these effects? No, because I'm stubborn. And if you've watched the last challenge run video, you should, you know I'm incredibly stubborn. But that won't be important right now. Right now, I go straight to Quelaag. First attempt, and I don't get far, mainly because of the explosive AoE move she uses, taking me down incredibly fast. Second attempt, I become a lot more wary of the strategy I have to use for her. All I have to do is just strike her whenever she uses moves that take a lot of time to recover from. And if I take damage, all I have to do is just walk away while she does a magma puddle attack, which will give me enough time to heal up and also go back onto the offensive. After a few more doinks, her face and her other face get dented with the imprint of my club, and I beat the fight. I ascend the steps and I ring the bell. After ringing the bell, I immediately go to Ceaseless Discharge, but before that I go to the bonfire and increase my vitality and endurance. I run to the other side of the area and I grab the clothes, immediately dashing to the entrance and... oh yeah, I had to wait. Oops. Second attempt, and I get him down to the ledge, smacking his hand, and he gets a big ouchie and falling to his death. I kind of feel like he's always such a footnote in these challenges, and it shows. Anywho, I make my way back up to Undead Parish, and I ascend the steps to Golden Boy for a sweet but delicate ring. This ring will stay on me for the entire run, and I have no intention of taking it off. It increases my equip load, but more importantly, it increases my stamina and my health. With this ring, I make my way to the Bell Gargoyles. And it's the Bell Gargoyles. They're extremely easy, especially since I was proven to beat Quelaag just fine. All you have to do is just focus on one until they die, and then kill the other who enters the fight with half health, making sure to keep your distance so they don't gank you. After ascending the ladder, I make my way to the second bell, allowing me access to Sen's Fortress. After returning to the Firelink Shrine, I speak with Frampt for no other reason than to feed him the blue chunk and turn it into a Titanite shard. And watching back the footage, I realized I could have fed him all the armor I got throughout this entire playthrough, as I do in this footage, exactly. Which could have given me a lot more levels, and would have made some fights a lot easier, and I'm really stupid. Adding on to that stupidity, I make my way down to the lower Undead Burg to make my way to the Capra Demon fight. The two reasons why I say that are simple. Number one, I completely forgot to take the shortcut for the first few attempts, and the second one, I lost the footage for the fight. Yep, this is because I accidentally closed the game, and since I'm playing on PlayStation and also recording from the PlayStation, I couldn't re-record it. So, with that in mind, let me treat you to this beautiful rendition I'm going to create just to show you how the fight went. Basically, All that happened was I first prioritized the two dogs by going up the stairs and whacking them at a safe distance, then plunge attacking the Capra Demon over and over again until he stops moving. I hate this fight so much. This has cost me so many hours of just... I hate this fight. It's the worst. I hate it. After that massive headache, I take my leave and then head straight to the depths. This is so I can grab the Ember to increase my club beyond +5 and to get one of the bosses off my list, the Gaping Dragon. After grabbing the Ember, I make my way to the Gaping Dragon's boss arena. I was not able to beat this first try, and this was due to the fact that there was a sorcerer who was just on the top floor who pelted me with magic bullets. This cost me my first attempt after getting staggered by the Gaping Dragon, pelted, and then slapped by the dragon. Now, you'd think I would go and find the guy and stop him from being a problem, right? Well, you'd be wrong, because once again, I am stubborn, and I really did not want to go through the effort of finding him, though that would have helped me so much in retrospect. Oh, remember how I mentioned that my resistance is terrible? This became a problem when I was trying to run back to the boss and got hit with poison from a rat. This wouldn't be so bad, right? All I had to do is just eat some poison moss, and I didn't bring any. God damn it. Since I didn't have any souls at this point, I couldn't heal my poison, so I just banked on killing the Gaping Dragon fast and using the souls to get more, while also avoiding getting hit by the drats on my way back to the boss if I were to die. After plenty more dying, I get an attempt with the Gaping Dragon that allows me to beat him down. This required me to hug the wall on the left side of the area to maintain a bad sightline for the sorcerer. This wasn't airtight, but it was still a strategy that allowed me to kill the dragon slightly easier. I was close to losing my winning attempts because of a grab that took me down to below 25%. But with a humanity, I got a full restore, and with that newfound confidence, I rushed in, beating his face, and then killed him. Immediately taking my leave, I give Andre a large ember for when I have the appropriate crafting materials for my club. Since I don't, however, I just progress forward to Sen's Fortress. Welcome to the House of Fun, la 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 la. But in actuality, repeat runs to this fortress made it quite simple now. I grab the bonfire and get ready to take on the Iron Golem. For the first attempt, my main strat was to go behind him and just beat on his Achilles so he could tumble and fall. Fortunately, my lack of dedication to this plan backfired on me when he punched me off on his own volition. Second attempt, and I wasn't able to make him tumble, however, I was able to beat on him enough to just kill him outright, allowing me to access Anar Londo. Now, I could have went to the vendor nearby and gotten the upgrade materials for my club, but I really didn't feel like going through all of the effort just to go all the way back to Sen's Fortress just to upgrade my club. So I'm about to do the entirety of Anar Londo with a +5 weapon and no armor. Won't be too bad, right? Anywho, I went through the rafters. This place doesn't really give me too much stress anymore, like it did in my first playthrough, so I should be able to get through this easy. After coming back and revenge killing all of them, I make my way to the rotating gizmo in the middle and gain access to the castle. I contemplate fighting Pristella now, but I plan to save that after Anar Londo. I reach the right side and have a face-to-face with the knights with bows. You'd think I would have a really hard time going through this, but I've developed a foolproof strategy to get me through this easily. I make my way to the pillar and heal a bit. After that, I run up with the shield in hand, and when I get close enough to the knight on the right, he will pull out his melee. And once he does that, I wait for him to fall off the edge, because usually they just tend to do that. And after he dies, I make my way to the balcony and jump inside. As soon as I'm inside, I run to the left and I get the bonfire. After resting with the homie, for friendly bro reasons, I attempt to make my way towards Smo and Ornstein. Before I do, I stop by near the giant to upgrade my club because I had a false pretense that I could. I say it's a false pretense because I was completely and utterly wrong. Well, after experiencing something I could have totally avoided if I just used my brain, I make my way down to the fight against Smo and Ornstein. My main strategy is to focus on Ornstein first, since he is the fastest of the two. Not only that, he's also the harder of the two to take out, so taking him out first would be a no-brainer. Well, first attempt, and I feel like I just got unlucky with the AI since Ornstein seems to attack when Smo was about to bulldoze me. I was able to bring him down to second phase though, but that didn't stop me from losing all of my healing in the process, so that caused me to die. Second attempt is the same as before, except I don't even get him down to second phase because Smo decided to turn me into a meat rocket. Third attempt, and I was able to get Ornstein down while maintaining a good amount of healing for the second phase. This did give me the confidence I needed to go and take on Smo without worrying, especially since he uses that butt slam attack over and over again, which is really easy to dodge and also quite easy to punish as well. After repeating the cycle over and over again, I got him down to low health, and I was kind of playing the fight overly cautious at that point. Until I realized I could have just smacked him once and he would have died. Well, he did. Glad I grew a pair at that last moment, eh? Ascending the elevator, and I make my way to Guinevere. Don't look at my pants. After getting the Lord Vessel, I make my way to Andre and immediately level up my club to +8. After that, I make my way back to the Firelink Shrine to talk to Fram to once again replace the Lord Vessel and gain access to the Lord Vessel bosses. Resting at the Lord Vessel, I level up and put all my points into strength to increase my little damage to something more impressive. With my lack of souls after leveling, I decide to go and fight the Stray Demon. After curling up like I would have had a very bad tummy ache, I arrive back at the start of the game. I also go and grab the Peculiar Doll to go and access Pristella's fight. Once I grab the doll, I make my way to the Stray Demon. The Stray Demon and its copies are fairly easy to fight. That being said, I do die here because of my lack of spatial awareness from his AoE attack. I was able to loop his animations a bit with the heavy attack, which causes him to do those floaty slam attack over and over, and with this, I was able to get some easy damage in. And once I learned how to dodge the AoE attacks, the fight was pretty simple from there. My lack of damage is still a massive problem at this point, but that can be rectified with more crafting items. Speaking of, when I kill him, he drops the Titanite slab. And when I find a way to upgrade my weapons past +10, I can use that to ascend the weapon to max level, to +15. Taking my leave, I go straight back to Undead Parish, and straight back into Sense Fortress. This is for the aforementioned merchant in the area. This will allow me to finally ascend the weapon to +10 for my club. I go and barter with the man, which allows me to get large Titanite shards. After speaking with them, I grab the cage key and unlock the shortcut, and after that I go back to Undead Parish to upgrade my club. With this newfound power, I travel to New Londo Ruins, stopping by to give that Knight Fellow from Firelink Shrine a nice greeting with my club. After depositing his dead body into the river like I was the Bay Harbor Butcher, I make my way through to talk to the priest for the key to the seal. After I finish bartering with him, I go and release the floodgates. This allows me to traverse the lower end of New Londo and reach the Four Kings. But before I take them on, I go and unlock the Crest of Artorias from Andre. And after a little bit more traversing through New Londo, and totally not because I forgot, I grabbed a very large Ember to upgrade my weapons past +10. And using the souls of the bosses I defeated, I gain enough souls to upgrade this weapon to +12. I am sufficiently powerful at this point. I go to the bonfire again and level up more of my endurance. With this newfound power, I make my way to Sif for 1, testing out my new power, and 2, gaining the ring to allow me access to the Abyss. As soon as I reach the area, I swing behind the tombstone and grab the Hornet Ring. This is one of the best rings in the game, in my personal opinion, and I plan on using it for a very specific reason way later. For now, I start the cutscene and get ready to fight the Blade Wolf. And the fight itself was not too hard. If I just maintained complete contact with Sif's legs, there was no way for them to hit me. And I did get low at some points, but with the long windup for some of their attacks, there were some easy chances for me to heal. But if there was one thing that this fight does make me struggle, it's with the thought of me killing the dog. It makes me feel like a piece of shit. No matter. After grabbing the ring, I homeward bone out and increase my strength and endurance at the nearest bonfire. With the 2 newfound rings in hand, I make my way to the Four Kings fight, and surprisingly, I had a hard time with this one for a bit. Mostly my fault. I kinda just stood there and ate attacks because I forgotten the attack pattern the kings have. It would have been nice if I had some healing. Unfortunately, I don't have the right kindling, so I could increase my capacity to 20. That changes now because I decided it would be a good idea to go to the catacombs to fight Pinhead.
Who you calling Pinhead?
Making my way down to the catacombs, and it was just traversing until I got to the bonfire that allows me to fast travel from anywhere to here. Except for the fact I can't access it because of the skeletons that respawn and maintain aggro when I was attempting to kindle it. That's terrible. So, with that, I need to pull out my secret little weapon to allow me the ability to put the skeletons down for good. Remember when I killed the Moonlight Butterfly for a reason that will come later? Well, one of the rewards I got was a Divine Ember. With that, I go and grab a club from the merchant in Undead Burg and attune it with Divinity. This way, when I kill those skeletons, they will stay dead and be dead. I want to address this now. No, I don't see this as me invalidating the run, mainly because I'm still using the club as a weapon. I just have another one for skeletons specifically. I'm still abiding by the rules I place on myself, but if you see this as invalidating the run, feel free to, I don't know, send me a bunch of death threats in the comments, I guess. Even though I may use it now, and I had the intention to use it for this very moment, it will come in handy later, unbeknownst to me at that very moment. After finally unlocking the bonfire to go to and from the catacombs, I step into Pinwheel's fight. And he's dead. Honestly, I don't think anyone has ever struggled with this fight. I don't think I've ever heard people struggle with this fight. Same with Ceaseless. He's just such a footnote boss. With him down, I finally unlock the ability to kindle the bonfire up to 20. Ascending the ladder, and I go through the Tomb of the Giants without any light. That's right. I'm not doing this with a lamp to help me through. You might be wondering, didn't you say you were allowed to use the items? Yes, but the lantern counts as a weapon. For that, I start fumbling through the dark. And after touching a lot of surfaces for a bit and finding my way with the help of Patch's boot, I get what I need and travel back to New Londo. I run past enemies and grab the red Tearstone ring. Don't really know why I mentioned this, I didn't really use it for the entire run. Once I do, I navigated back to the catacombs and unlocked the bonfire near the boss arena for later. Well, I say that, but I do try to attempt to fight in a bit. Didn't go my way, mainly because I'm severely underpowered for Nito, so I'll just save it for when I can feasibly do it. With that in mind, I decided now there should be a good time to fight Pristella. I fast travel back to Anor Londo and get Mario 64 to do the painting. After traversing to the area, I get hit with Toxic along the way. But it's fine because as soon as I unlock the shortcut straight back to the bonfire, I can just rest at it and I'll be okay. Once I do that, I go down the well and flip the switch, which allows me to access Pristella's arena. Once I flip it, I immediately run towards the boss arena and get ready to whack some feet. I open the boss with a running heavy, causing her to go invisible. The trick to this fight is to look at the snow to see the footprints she makes and tagging her wherever she is in the general direction. This definitely goes down as one of the easiest bosses in Dark Souls, but at least it isn't Ceaseless or Pinwheel. There's something to talk about here. I mean, look. After dancing around and attacking her where I believe she is, she finally reveals herself for a moment before hiding once again. But this was to her detriment because I was able to get a glimpse of where she went because of my lock-on. And after a little bit of hunting, I finally take her out. After reenacting my favorite scene from God of War, I get spat back out of the painting. With Priscilla gone, I feel confident enough to take on the Four Kings. And suffice to say, I think my preparations were enough. Unfortunately, on my first attempt, I don't get the chance to show my power since I died relatively early into the fight. The second attempt, however, I got the feel of things. The first king had the smart idea of using the grabs over and over again, but I guess the others couldn't follow suit for whatever reason. My strategy was to just plant my face directly into their bodies, AO, making their wide swinging attacks easy to dodge and making them not use their projectiles. If they were to use the projectiles, I would just simply raise my shield and would be able to easily tank it. That must be really embarrassing for them, having a beam of, dark energy blocked by a simple plank shield. I think I would just relinquish my title as a king at that point. The fight did end in a close call because I was grabbed at the final moments, but he wasn't able to have the ability to capitalize on my low health. With one final swift swing, I lay the Four Kings to rest, acquiring the first of 4 Lord Souls. With the new levels, I pump vitality and exit swiftly. I head back to Sunlight Altar to take out one of the knights holding the Titanite chunks I need to increase my weapon level. It was a simple fight, especially since I'm probably way too strong for him at this point. I travel back to Undead Burg and make my way down to Darkroot Basin once again, stopping by to kill Havel for some souls. After eliminating him, I head back to Blightden and go to Quaylag's sister. This is just so I can use the bonfire for my next place I'm going to visit, Lost Izalith. I make my way down, sprinting my way to the next bonfire as I avoid going all the way back. After grabbing it, I run all the way to the Demon Fire Stage fight. It's a reskin of the Stray Demon, of course, but he has some new attacks. Fortunately, I was not able to beat it the first try because of those aforementioned attacks. Apparently explosive AoEs are my worst enemy, and I was able to die really fast because of those things. Second attempt, and after gaining spatial awareness, I was finally able to take him down quite easily. After killing him, I take the shortcut back to Quaylag's domain. I run farther in to grab the bonfire that leads to the Centipede Demon, and after a few more steps, I start my encounter with the demon. The strategy involved to take him out was just to stay where I was until he finally came my way. Since his attacks were extremely telegraphed, it was not that hard for me to achieve victory against him. After all, he was relatively weak defensively, so I could just keep on whacking him. With this, I can finally unlock the orange Charred Ring, allowing me the ability to run through lava without too much loss to my health. I make my way through Lost Izalith up until I get to the bonfire, kindling it and leveling up in the process. I only have 1 level and I spend it all on more strength. Now it's time for my least favorite fight in the entire series, and you know, if you've played the Souls games, you know exactly what's coming up, but before I take on them, I make my way to the front of the boss area and take out the pyromancer, because if I don't, they'll be there to torture me every single time I get there. Now that's out of the way, time for the bed of chaos. This is the worst fight I had the displeasure of attempting ever, and I've lost so much time to this guy that every subsequent run I did permanently locked him in other phases. I died so many times that when I was on my winning attempt, he was automatically on third phase, allowing me to just simply walk up and batter his stupid little bug body into a pulp. Legit, I am honestly so done with this fight that I don't even want to go over the go into detail what happened beforehand. I'm just done with this fight. Stupid. Whatever. I don't have to deal with it anymore. I grabbed the Lord Soul and I made my way out of here as fast as possible. And when I got the ability to, I immediately went back to Quelaag's domain and clubbed her stupid sister in the head. This is because she had a Firekeeper soul, and if you kill her, she drops it. This, of course, locks out my ability to fast travel from the bonfire, but that's okay because I can just go to the bonfire before the Demon Fire stage and just fast travel back to Firelink Shrine. I speak with the Firekeeper back there, and I upgrade my Estus to +2. With all of that taken care of, I make my way back to the catacombs. With all that killing done, I was able to level up more of my strength, and at this point, I just thought it could probably be good to farm for a better version of the club. With that, I spent an hour farming for chunks, on the way increasing my Estus to +3 with a loose Firekeeper soul. After getting all the chunks, I head back to the Tomb of the Giants, easily navigating it after my initial hours of farming through the dark. Now it's time to take on Nito. There's just one thing I don't like about this fight, and it's the unavoidable damage you take from the fight and the minions he spawns. That terrible combination led to my first death against him. Now, remember when I said my Divine Club would unintentionally come into play here? Well, it does during my winning attempt. That is because I am able to take out Nito's minions permanently with a Divine Club. Though, it's not strong enough to be my main weapon, my normal one can do just fine against Nito though. I don't have to switch to Divine Club a second time during the final attempts because of the fact that if you just stay in the arena and back out the entrance, all you have to do is just wait for him to come to you and then you can just start rattling his bones. And since he's so slow and can barely dodge anything, this absolutely ruins his day. After checking him off the list, I used the souls I got from killing him and level up more of my strength and vitality. And after giving Patches a more than generous thank you for kicking me down into a pit, I traversed the catacombs one more time. The reason why I'm back down here is to acquire the Dark Moon Seance Ring. This will be the only way to access the second optional boss of this game, Gwendolyn. After obtaining the thing, I go and access the fight. Fun fact, this is the first time I fought Gwendolyn. Ever. I didn't even know he existed until looking up all the bosses after my first playthrough, and quite literally, he was the only one I didn't even get to fight in my initial playthrough of this game. So that changes today, however, as I steel myself for what's to come. The entire fight was basically the equivalent of a deadly game of peekaboo. I had to get my hits in before Gwendolyn decides to teleport away. This fight was simple, although my defenses don't exactly do well with multiple hits from a deadly source, so I did die in my first attempt against him. The second attempt, all I had to do was dodge the perfect time from his many projectiles, and timing was pretty easy, so clubbing him in the foot was a breeze. I was able to show him that I am the king of kindergarten recess games, finishing the fight pretty swiftly. With all that said and done, I go back to the bonfire in Anor Londo and piss off Yellow Knight Lady. And if you follow the theme of other Yellow Knights in this playthrough, you know that she didn't have a chance in hell against me. Slaying her gave me another Firekeeper soul so I could increase it to +4, being the most I leveled it in this playthrough. With that finally taken care of, I can get to the second worst part of the game, the Duke's Archives. This place is not fun to traverse, at all. Not helping matters is the fact that these Cresto guys get a bunch of cheap hits off of me when I'm traversing. And they don't look like much, but they do so much damage. It's quite literally insane. Making my way through and I get to the first encounter with Seath. Unfortunately, my poor recollection of this game bit me in the ass when I forgot to dodge the Purging status effect. Because of this, I am stuck at lower health until I find a Purging Stone. But at this point, I can't get one right now. The only way to get one is to find a way through Duke's Archives until I get the Universal Fast Travel Point. So that's what I did. I flipped a lever, ascended the ladder, did the stairs puzzle, died, and had to do it all over again because this game only wants me to suffer. And when I finally reached the bonfire, I made sure to purchase a Purging Stone before I decided to go any further with Seath. With that taken care of, I run through the invisible bridges to make my way to his boss arena. Well, not before getting ganked in the most humiliating way possible. Thanks. Second run through, I reached Seath's arena. And honestly, I think the boss fight was just navigating the Duke's Archives because Seath was easy. Really, really easy. I beat him first try. Granted, I did get hit occasionally by his AoE crystal attack, but it was easy to heal out of. All I had to do was just stay behind him so none of his crystal attacks would really affect me, and since he was pretty brittle, it didn't take too long for me to shatter him with my club. After collecting the Lord Soul, I increased my vitality some more. That was the final Lord Soul boss, so the Lord of Cinder is next, right? Nah, because I still have the DLC to deal with. And honestly, I was contemplating just not doing it and saving it for a different video. But I am a man. I can condense the DLC into this video, goddammit. So with that new objective unlocked, I head straight back to Darkwood Basin and kill the Hydra to kick off the DLC. All I had to do was just cozy up with a shield in the water and wait for his heads to attack me, clubbing them when he gets close. And after doing all of that, I traverse past his boss arena and I find a gold crystal enemy. I shatter it like I did Seath, and a lady pops out. She asks me to travel back in the past and slay the evil that lays within. After agreeing, I go back to the Duke's archives and grab the broken pendant from the blue crystal being. After traveling back, all I see is a mysterious portal. I walk too close and a giant hand grabs me, whipping me around and thrusting me back into the past. In the past, I travel forward until I make my way to the first boss of the DLC, the Sanctuary Guardian. The Sanctuary boss was incredibly easy to beat, mainly due to the fact they have low defenses and telegraphed attacks. After finding my opportunities, I smack it down first try. Traveling further in, and I make my way to the Sanctuary. A giant mushroom tells me what I have to do, and of course, no one, like any sensible human, just decides to listen to it, and because of that, I make my way to Royal Wood. Passing through, and I've reached the boss door, my favorite boss in the entire series, and the one fight I was genuinely super pumped to do, Artorias. And this fight was extremely hard for me. Two reasons. One, the run back through the entirety of Royal Wood, and two, he is so damn fast. That makes him so cool. But unfortunately, it also showed the weaknesses of the club, the lack of speed. With this lack of speed in attacking and lack of recovery time, I was very much open to all of Artorias' attacks. One of the other weaknesses of the club is the lack of range I get with it, as I consistently whiff attacks that I thought would be able to hit him. I was on this fight for a decent while. He was proving to be a massive challenge for me. Though it might have been quite disheartening to lose to him this many times, I was not willing to give up after getting so far into this run. And on the winning attempt, my strategy was simple. I would try to make him do the jumping attack, which would lead him open to an easy whack. I'd proceed to dodge his attacks a bit more, allowing me to counterattack. When he tries to transform into a second phase, I hit him once and then put my shield up just in case I get too close to him. When he does his Nova, I run straight into him and smack him again. After he recovers, I let him go on the offensive a bit more, biding my time to make sure I can get the perfect attacks in. And after this beautiful, deadly dance, I was able to put Artorias into the ground, beating him without getting hit a single time. After my favorite fight in the run, I dashed through the township to find the crest key from the Mimic, allowing me to set into motion the third and final optional boss of the run, Calamite. After running back to the area, I meet the coolest giant you've ever seen. After talking to him, I make my way to Calamite's boss arena. This is so I can get the items down there and set the motion the requirements to face Calamite. I can't kill him at this current stage because of the fact that he's flying above me and would only use his fire breath to scorch my raisin boy to an even crispier crisp. After dying to Calamite, I make my way back to Go, the giant, and prove why he is the coolest giant ever. So, if nobody saw this before, that was a blind giant with the coolest bow I have ever seen, sniping a flying dragon. Go is him. Enough said. After the cutscene ends, I run straight to the boss area. My opportunity to take out the Scourge of the Skies has finally been given to me. And after stepping into this boss arena, the grounded dragon finally faces me. This fight was pretty fun. I mainly followed the same strat I did with Sith and the Gaping Dragon, staying on his body to not only dodge the attacks, but also put damage in when the opportunity arises. And after showing the true power of humanity...
What aim? What aim?
Calamite was finally slain. Now that Calamite isn't in our way anymore, the final fight of the DLC is now available. Manus, that giant hand monster who brought us here in the first place. After unlocking the shortcut through, I ready myself for the hardest fight in the run. He was easily one of the hardest fights for multitudes of reasons. He would have a lot of crushing blows that would annihilate me if I got hit by them. He had combo moves that would sweep just all over and just destroy me if I got hit by it. He had wide sweeping arm strikes. He would jump into the air as a get off me tool, and he even has magic that instantly kills me if I get hit by it. This one was the fight that tested my mettle and pushed me to my limits. This fight took hours to complete, but I wasn't going to back down, especially not so close to the end. So I endured, learning his timing, learning his patterns, until eventually I finally sent the Father of the Abyss to his end. And after finally saving the past, I traveled back to the present, traversing through the Firelink altar, filled with all the Lord souls we needed to finally send us to the final fight of the game, Gwen, the Lord of Cinder. Before facing him, remember that Hornet ring I picked up during Sif's fight? Well, it's about to come into play right now. As I travel through the kiln of the first flame, I dodge every knight daring to stand in my way, and after finally pushing through, I come raising face to face with the man himself. With the help of the Hornet ring and this dinky shield we kept around this entire run, it was good enough to finally put the Lord of Cinder down for good. The Lord of Cinder couldn't handle the amount of counters I was throwing at him. And after he falls, I touch the bonfire, linking the flame, finishing the game and proving yes, you can indeed beat Dark Souls Remastered as the Deprived. I'm gonna level with you. I was not expecting this to be as fun as it was, but oh my god, it was probably my favorite challenge run I've done on a game to date. And with that, I hope you enjoyed. If you did like this video, please comment whatever challenge that comes to your mind. That would be great for me to try out, and I might give it a shot one day. While you're at it, please like and subscribe, as I want to make more of these videos in the future, because they are my passion. They are so fun. I could just go on for hours about how much I love this content, and I love like making videos for you guys. It's so much fun. And if you've made it this far, and if you're hearing me yap about this right now, thank you. Thank you so much. This was such an amazing opportunity for me to just entertain you. But until next time, I'm Squatspy. Thank you for watching.